Hello, welcome to Cinema Clips. Some characters in Grey's Anatomy arrive with a bang, while others slowly make their mark. But some introductions are so unforgettable that they immediately grab our attention. Whether it's a dramatic entrance, a funny moment, or an intense first case, these characters made sure we wouldn't forget them. Let's take a look at 8 of the most iconic character introductions in Grey's Anatomy history, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Grey's Anatomy content. Starting off at number 8, we have Eliza Minnick. Minnick's introduction was one of the most controversial in Grey's Anatomy history, not because it was great, but because of how it set the stage for a chaotic season. Bailey and Catherine's secretive approach created an atmosphere of distrust.
And how we are teaching our residents. And we have got to fix this. You and me.
And Dr. Weber, the residency program is your husband's department.
I know it is.
Making it nearly impossible for Minnick to succeed. If they had been upfront with the hospital staff, she might have had a chance to improve the teaching program instead of being seen as a villain.
I was afraid you might not catch my drift because you're insane.
Have you never accidentally nicked a vessel?
Of course I have. You did this on purpose.
On top of that, her attitude didn't do her any favors, causing fans to dislike her before they could even get to know her. At number 7, we have Teddy Altman. Teddy joined the cast as a new cardio attending and was intended to teach Christina.
I got you a present.
Come on, I don't want to lose him. All right, what do we got? Fine B-fib paddles?
You got me a cardiac trauma.
I didn't just get you a cardiac trauma, I got you a cardio god, or goddess.
Saline, lock and load 50. Clear?
She had a history with Owen, even though it isn't apparent just how deep it runs. While Christina questions her qualifications, Teddy's arrival could be summed up by Owen delivering a gift to Christina in the form of a cardio goddess that could teach her. But in one of her first scenes, she shows Christina how to stop the patient from bleeding in the operating room. It was that scene that made fans love her before even getting to know her character. And at number 6, we have Arizona Robbins. Many people will remember Arizona's exit as one of the best, but she also has an amazing introduction as she goes toe-to-toe with Dr. Bailey. She's the new peds attending, and she has no reservations about telling Dr. Bailey that the treatment the patient was receiving was wrong before rolling away on her wheeled sneakers.
Believe that stricturioplasty works, and sometimes they're right. So we'll go with it today. But with his liver disease, we should start exploring other options. I gotta run. Dr. Kenley had a big caseload. But I'll see you in the OR.
When Bailey doubts her assessment, Arizona stands up to her and, most importantly, stands up for her patient. She gives a referral for a second opinion and makes it very clear that she won't put up with second guessing. This is so much more impressive because the audience learns later that Arizona cannot deal with authority, but for the sake of her patients, she will stand up to anybody. At number 5, we have Andrew DeLuca. When viewers first see Andrew DeLuca on screen, it doesn't seem like he's an intern at all. He acted like an attending, and that's precisely what people confused him for. He exuded confidence, and it was no wonder that the doctors didn't realize he was just one of the new interns. It was ultimately a horrible show he put on, and had to admit he was just an intern. It messed up his relationship with the other interns, who felt he was showing off, and they didn't want to live with him. So his only option was to be Arizona's roommate. But the introduction itself was pretty epic compared to the other interns. Coming off at number 4, we have Penelope Blake. Penny shows up at Meredith's house as Callie's date, and while everyone is chatting with her, it isn't until everyone learns that Penny is supposed to start work at Sloan that Meredith snaps and reveals the truth by saying that perfect Penny killed her husband.
Well, she is a new resident transfer.
What?
Well, yeah, she's joining the program at Sloan Memorial.
She was at Dillard.
Dillard, isn't that,
That's where Derek died.
It was a horribly awkward scene, and it was no surprise that her character wasn't liked after either, despite the unusual mentorship between her and Meredith. She was the doctor who killed Derek and Callie's new love interest that stood in the way of her and Arizona reconciling. At number 3, we have Owen Hunt. Even though Owen isn't the most popular of characters right now, there are few introductions as iconic as he was.
And breath sounds?
What did you do?
I didn't do it, he did. G.I. Joe traked him at the field before I got there.
With a pen? You traked this guy with an ink pen?
So?
Not only was he a complete badass and stapled his own leg when he wasn't even numbed or anything, even Christina was impressed. Then, when Christina was impaled with an icicle, he came to her rescue, carried her to the hospital, and eventually pulled the icicle out. It established his character brilliantly as a badass, kind of impulsive army doctor with lots of field experience and an assertive personality. And at number 2, we have Mark Sloan. Grey's Anatomy introduced Mark as a bit of a plot twist. The audience sees a hot guy flirting with Meredith, who tells him she doesn't date the people she works with. After Derek punched Mark in the face, the audience learns that Mark was Derek's former best friend and the guy Addison cheated with. Even though it established Mark as a bad friend and a cheater, his interaction with Meredith was enough for fans to quickly fall in love with him, despite being a flirt, or maybe because of it. He ended up being so loved that his exit was one of the most heartbreaking for the fans. Finally, at number 1, we have Addison Montgomery. The best introduction on the show, without a doubt, goes to Addison Montgomery Shepard. The fans were loving the romance between Meredith and Derek. Just as it seemed it was finally turning into something more serious, Grey's Anatomy threw the biggest obstacle at the ship. In the biggest plot twist of the show, Addison shows up at the hospital lobby, looking so elegant in her fur coat and high heels. Derek only has a few seconds to mutter a quick apology before Addison says the iconic, unforgettable line,
"I'm Addison Shepard."
Shepard?
"And you must be the woman who's been screwing my husband."
From dramatic arrivals to unforgettable first impressions, these character introductions set the stage for some of Grey's Anatomy's most beloved and hated doctors. Whether they made us laugh, cry, or gasp, their entrances proved just how unforgettable they would be. Which character introduction stood out the most to you? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Grey's Anatomy content.